Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to our poor Yahweh, Hashem Yoshai, Hashem Kakarash. Alright, Shalom. First and call Halalim Yahweh, Hashem Yoshai, Hashem Kakarash. That's in the ancient Hebrew, saying all praises to Yahweh in the name of Yoshai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Yahweh is the correct name for the God of the Bible, who the world ignorantly called Jehovah, God, or Yahweh. His son's true name in the Hebrew is Yahushai, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. The true name for the God of the Bible in the Hebrew is Yahweh. His son's true name in the Hebrew is Yahushai. I want to give double honors unto our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to all our brothers and they are pushing this word in sincerity and in truth, to all I believe in this gospel. Shalom. Alright, this lesson, as you can see, topic what color was so-called Jesus, which we have been lied throughout our life, look here, it's a quick example. We've been shadowed with so-called white images, and really and truly no one is white. White is here. I'll show you something. No one is none of these two colors. Nobody hurt. We're basically different shades of brown, and Esau is basically different shades of red. Esau is a so-called white race. But we've been shadowed with these imagery. We grew up by here say how so-called Jesus look. When in truth and in fact the son of the Most High is a so-called black man. And the son of the Most High Yahweh is a so-called black man as well. Because Scripture says he bear the image of Yahweh shall bear the image of Yahweh. Right? We can just prove that real quick as well. First Colossians 1 verse 5. Who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature? For by him were all things made, for by him were all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whereby they, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. But the main point is, who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature, which is Yahushai. So as there was it. I remember which one of the disciples was Thomas, if I'm mistaken. Say, oh, if you see him, you basically see the Father because him look alike. Alright, so basically call this video, I actually get from what I post it. And the white so-called white person here, probably a Jake, who knows, that was going into what people actually in the Bible when they look up like Joseph, Moses, the Lord Yahushai, so-called black people, the Israelites are so-called black people, means the word so-called, and not because they're black meaning of the same nation. It's the less the other day that we are not Africans, but I post a link to this video. You can watch it in the description. You can search for it in the description box and find it. And came across this article here also. Brother post Kabash from the Jamaica Gleaner, what color was Jesus? It's the name for this lesson. And them associated with African, but again, the so-called people dwelling in the landmass of Africa are black, but we aren't Africans. We fled Jerusalem mainly 70 AD, when basically Jerusalem got invaded by Titus and Vespasian, and we fled. We dwell there for a time until them come and them capture and carry over here in the west. But we ain't no so-called uh Africans. We are here. We are so-called black people, people of melanated color. But we're actually Israelites, as the Israelites are actually so-called black people, which can prove that we'll quick and improve the biblical description of the Lord Yahushai, that's his true name. And then they started going and say, oh, you know, you actually affect our people. You know, how people believe that they might have said, oh, black is beautiful, so them try to tell themselves, but really and truly them not have nothing, no truth for hold on to, if you actually hold firm to that. Right, so them kind of degrade themselves, and lo and behold, let's play this video.
No, no.
La dos muñecas lindas de
yo no voy a
Ori.
buscar la que están allí.
¿Y cuál es la que están
La
allí?
que yo tengo allí guardada.
¿Y cuáles son esas? Estas son las de ella,
Espérate, yo lo voy a
que se
buscar.
parecen a ella.
Mire,
This is the doll that I got her.
mira la cara, mira cómo ella los cachetes, mira.
Ella no le gusta esa muñeca. No le gusta. No le gusta. Ten, Ori. Ori, ten. Ori. Ori. Ori, ten. Ori, your dolly.
Mira la misma cara de tu hija, mira los cachetes, mira. Esta es la...
¿Cuál es la misma cara? Yeah, that's the thing. They were brainwashed years ago. Like, this is generation worth of brainwashing. Like, you get what I'm saying? So,
And just to put it out there as well, the people from Dominican Republic, you know, are basically Israelites. They're of the tribe of Simeon, you know, so-called black people as well. And then even personally speaking, well, we never meet the lady, but remember the this Israelite woman out here in Jamaica, and she remember straight up say, oh, her mother kind of, you know, um, what she done prefer so-called lighter skinned people. You know, she had this incident when she was with this person, and mother look on her and say, oh, she's supposed to find better, you know, in regards like deal more lighter skinned people, and she don't like them and her friend them because they're for darker skin, you know, which it's all the curses since the title here it says the curses on our people are real. You know, people them actually hate themselves, you know, but in the deal let the truth bring forth, because again Yahushua, so-called Jesus, you know, is a so-called black man. The Most High is a so-called black man. The angels are so-called black people. The Israelites are so-called black people. The so-called white race came about when Esau came on the scene. You know, we don't know for them judgment, you know, which is basically a curse why them look so. But this is Second Ezra chapter 6 in verse start of verse 28. Start 27. It says, for evil shall be put out, and the seed shall be quenched. As for faith it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which had been so long without fruit shall be declared. And that's how seen right now, you know. It might be to some people, oh, long time ago, so Jesus black, yeah. You see me? But growing up, I was taught about the so-called white image, you know, and that's what I thought was so-called Jesus, you know. When see even the name. But now, you know, the truth will come out, yo. And hey, this is prophecy. So let's get it real quick. This is account of the Lord showing how Moses have to do a miracle, you know. So Moses was of the tribe of what Levi, or of the nation of Israel. Let's see what skin complexion they were or are. It says this Exodus chapter 4 and let's see. Alright, verse 6. It says, and the Lord said furthermore unto him, put now thine hand into thy bosom. So put down natures. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he looked, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. So leprous, you know, really go back to lacking melanin. Esau, like if there's a leprous today, would be you know, diseased and sore and all sort of bullshit, you know. But it really go back to the rest of our group name, so which is all of crackers. I think Esau wanted to say basically suffering from leprosy. Why? Let's scriptures. Yeah, this is when I want this leprosy. You see me? Anyways, well, leprosy is just because the scriptures just lock in melanin, and we're gonna prove it. Leprosy. It said as snow. Ever look on this where is it look like snow? Yes, sir. What look like snow? Yes, sir. Nothing. What? Esau is a liar. So it says, and he said, so Imana would change to so-called um white. It's a white as snow, leprous as snow. So the description says, and he said, put thine hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as his own flesh. Like back to normal, so-called black man, you know. This is a account as well for sister Miriam. It says, Numbers 12 verse 9. It says, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed, and the cloud departed from off the tabernacle. And behold, Miriam, an Israelite, Levite, became leprous, white as snow. So she became a so-called white woman, if you will. you know. It says, and Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And then Abraham, no Abraham, Moses basically prayed for her. I think she was cast out and then come back to normal after a while. I think about 7 days, you know. But hey, sure said the characters, the biblical characters, the Israelites, they're actually so-called black people. The only white man in the Bible, or so-called white man in the Bible, originally, born white, if you will, was Esau and the Edomites. Everybody else are people of color. It's the reason why Israelites could actually run down to Egypt, which everybody is supposed to know, say Egyptians are actually so-called black people. And Lord, I wish I could hide amongst them and can't pick him out of who. Think about it. It's like one pussy hide amongst dog. Nigga, where I go. You see me? You go hide amongst people you look like. That's why I wish I could blend in as a family, because well, them all they look alike. Right, so let's get the biblical description of the Son of the Most High. It says, and I turned, so like here, Revelation 1 verse 12, and I turned to see the voice that spake with me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. So John hears somebody chat to him, and in turn, when you look, it says 7 golden candlesticks. Alright? It says, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man. So in a middle, there are 7 candlesticks. You see me? He say Yahushai, the Son of Man, right? The Lord, clothed with a garment down to the foot. So him have clothes upon him down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. So on your waist, him have one golden. Out in Jamaica, I don't want to say belt, but girdle different, right? So let's put it in layman's terms to people. It says his head and his ears, right? So him head, the ear upon his head, and his ears, so like him beard, right, were white like wool, so the color white, and then description wool, show the texture, right, wool like here, and then it's described again as white as snow. So him have gray hair, if you will, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, yeah, they red. Description again. It says verse 15, main point, and his feet like unto fine brass. So you look on your foot them now. They look like fine brass, good brass, as if they were burned in a furnace. So if you throw brass, let's do something real quick. Looky. Burned brass. Watch out. Let's put this up. These are some of the depictions, through like imagery of the Lord, the disciples, the Israelites, but then so-called black people, can take off the yellow madness they still, but burn brass, black. So-called dark skin. Right? This will be a true depiction of the Last Supper. Somewhat of a true depiction. So-called black people, his disciples, one of them they call one Niger. See me can get that real quick. This is Acts chapter 13 and verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger. So one of the disciples, when they call him nigger. What in Jamaica now when I say blacks. We know what kind of people call blacks. We know a girl named blacks, we know a man named blacks. And maybe if you're watching this, you can't tell the people we know blacks. Then now we have a darker skin complexion. But aren't we also call black people? But we have some people saying, oh man, black didn't shine, blacks are blacky. Right? It says, and Lucius of Cyrene and one name which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul. Let's see if we can get up Niger here real quick. Still on the lesson. So they call him Niger. Boom. Greek.
Strong's G 3526. Niger.
Yeah, that's what they call him. Blacks. That's what they call him. Surname of the prophet Simeon, aka Blacks. Well, go on Blacks, you're good. So-called black man. You're obvious. But yeah, scriptures are search the scriptures, because in them we think you have eternal life. We've been given a lie. So when you look up burn brass, as we just put up the imagery, the Yahushai, son of the Most High foot, look like burn brass, when you're feeling black, when you're really feeling it in a fire, your one color come out, for the most part, right, black. Alright, so let's get it back. It says, so back to Revelation chapter 1 verse 15, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they were burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. His voice rough. This is a description of the Lord Yahushua. It says, obviously, John the Baptist saw, John, the Revelator, John saw him, and described him look. He's a so-called black man, in foot black, and black. Which if your foot black, you're not black. It's by the fire skin. Yes, Kalim described. Right, but this year, this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, which the man that lied to the world, the scripture said what the devil will go about, lose a little season, and deceive the whole earth, which is a so-called white man if you can receive it. Many elites of them that have deceived the world. It says, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as a God seated in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Gotcha. Which are clearly described as one of the Most High, the so-called black man, right? And then the scripture tells us Yahushua look like the Most High. So, when we type in God, why white people may I see? Gotcha. Him say my take cross like almost look like Brad Pitt. White people. They fit being the Romans, but not an Israelite, which was Yahushua. Right? It says, so this is actually fulfillment to share to them. They basically receive the world by showing themselves that them are God, or so-called white people pretending having the Most High that he's a white man, a so-called white man at that. It says, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withhold it, that he might be revealed in his time, which that time is now is being revealed. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way, because he will be cast down. That's what the Lord is coming back to do. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So he start by revealing who he really is, the devil, liar, that deceived the whole earth, and might destroy him when he return. Even him who is coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, with all deceivableness, like this, deception, that he is God, and that the Israelites are so-called white people, the angels are so-called white people. It's all bullshit, all deception has been sold to us when that cracker Christopher Columbus come over here, claims him discover land, come see people there, but he ain't discover it. Demon. It says, and with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause God sent them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be dumb who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Because again, truth is not coming to the world. It's obvious that the Son of the Most High is a black man. It's obvious that the Israelites are people of we use the word melanin, not no so-called white man, you know. But people just don't care. They only care when it's convenient. Or Black History, oh yeah, remember say XYZ and do XYZ. But them sincere to believe like here. And this female say, oh, she don't really blame her mother, because we have been sold a lie. And the funny thing, when this girl and she tell me about her mother, because she basically want me to say, her mother basically not approve of me coming so called black man. So I understand, because Willing syndrome, and I think we actually said our documentation on Let's Make a Slave. Yeah, so again, just curses from people, but hey, the elect is waking up from it, and very soon, Lord deliver the elect, and truth be a thing, you know, be the thing. Yes, it's written the truth, which had been so long without fruit shall be declared. So I just want to make a quick commentary on this, you know. Hope this is edifying to like out there, giving all praise to our boy, how about Shem, Shai about Shem, Kakodash, the wonders and two elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to the full like shalom.